Good morning, it's now Sunday morning and we've woken up. A little bit of breeze, not as windy as it was last night. When we pitched it was pretty hairy. So it's about 6:30 now in the morning. It's pretty cold. I had to sleep with my down jacket on, basically everything I brought, and I had these down trousers that I bought. I actually thought I wasn't going to use them because the night before I was quite hot, but yeah, I had to put them on. Annoyingly, sort of sleeping in a dip last night, sort of slopes down to the left all night. And you feel like you're kind of clinging on for dear life and you keep having to scramble back up the side of your mat. So we're up a bit earlier than yesterday, which is good because yesterday the farmers caught us. So that's our aim today, to not get caught by the farmers. We're going to have a nice breakfast. We didn't actually end up having any dinner last night because we had such a big pub lunch about 3 o'clock, so it's quite late. We didn't do that many miles yesterday either, so we weren't feeling that hungry. We just had some biscuits when we got to the tent and then got all our stuff out. We were in bed at 7 o'clock. We were absolutely shattered. So we've been in bed a long time and I do feel like I've rested properly. I did sleep. We put our earplugs in last night, so managed to cut out the noise of the wind and all the other noises that you can hear when you're in a tent, you know. I'm looking forward to some breakfast now though, so let's get the pot boiling. Right, so I've got my stove going, getting our mugs ready to have a cup of tea and coffee. Paul's just putting some gear away here, just making his mat all small. I'm going to sit on mine because it's a bit cold on the ground actually, and if you sit straight on the ground you get a cold bottom. But I'll share my mat with you, Paul.
Alright, thank you very much. How much does that cost then?
Seems to be tractors driving all around. It's Sunday morning, you'd think they'd have a little bit of a lion, but no. So we're doing our best to take the tent down as quickly as possible. We're nearly there actually. We've got the inner out. We had some breakfast. Just got a bunch of stuff to deal with here. Paul's just rinsing our bowls out from breakfast while I've got this this cloth that I'm wiping the inside of so it hasn't got so much condensation on the tent. That way it makes it lighter to carry, and it also stops it from being so drenched later when we put it up. Be more comfortable. Farmers don't seem to be actually doing anything. They just kind of drive past, but they must have noticed that we're staying here, so just makes us a bit uncomfortable really. Be glad to just get out and up and moving around. So we're underway again. We did have a little stressy moment because the farmer was watching us. We don't seem to have nailed this wild camping thing on this trip. Keep getting caught by the farmers. But the little wooded area behind me, we were basically behind that at the top of it, so on the other side, and that was then there's a field at the top. So the tractor was driving. Of course he's ploughing the field or doing what he's doing at 7 o'clock on a Sunday morning. Normal, I guess, for farmers. But yeah, it's a bit of a bummer. We're trying to get it better and better every evening. This is a really nice stretch of the route, like scenery wise, and we've got some bendiness coming up because the rest of the route, it's like a dead straight line. So the bendiness is quite exciting. We're looking forward to that. We feel pretty good, I think. Paul's got a bit of an aching hip thing going on this morning.
Had a good sleep though last night.
Yeah, Paul's bit was on a flat bit, and unfortunately mine just sort of sloped off the edge. So that was a bit annoying, but hey, it's all part of it. We do feel quite fresh. I feel mentally rested, which is, well, it's a start, isn't it? Still haven't managed to brush my hair this morning, but hey, perhaps I'll get around to that later, We're looking forward to just marching up this road bit, getting back onto footpaths. And from what I can understand, we've got some more like woodlandy kind of pretty footpaths coming up. So I'm looking forward to that. Today the highlights of the route include a McDonald's, which is next to a garage on, I'm not sure if that's the A14, could be the A14 that we have to cross. We have to cross two very busy roads. Later on it'll be the A11, which is going to be a bit of a hairy crossing, I think. But apart from that, it's all just going through countryside. We've got the village of Watton. We passed Swaffham as well, which is more or less where the McDonald's is, I think. We're considering going into Watton. I think it's about 1 kilometre off the route, and then we get a pub which we can eat in for lunch if we get there around then. So we're just sort of winging it today, really. Don't have too much water. The next place we can stock up with water is the McDonald's or the garage that's next door to it. So we're just going to have to make do until we get there. I think it's about 5 miles away. So we're looking at perhaps 2 hours, 2.5 hours. We're meant to go behind the hedge. I just noticed the sign. Peddars Way sign here. Behind the hedge. Oh, you sweeties, eh? Aren't you lovely? Oh, yeah. Oh, you wouldn't have butt my camera. We're just passing Palgrave Hall, which is easily missed. It's like hiding behind some trees over there. Luckily Paul, with his keen eyesight, has spotted it. So there you go, folks, Palgrave Hall. We're passing through the village of Palgrave, I guess, but they're tiny little places, so sort of blink and you miss it. There's little houses up here, I see. I suppose that's the village. So we're just approaching the A47, which we're going to cross. So Swaffham's just off to the right. You can see some golden arches of a McDonald's there, and there's obviously a BP garage on the other side that we can kind of spot from looking through the hedge. But Paul, being fantastic as he is, has been looking at Google Maps and realised that we're passing through a village called, was it North or South Pickenham?
North Pickering.
North Pickering, yeah. And there's actually a cafe there. So what we're going to do is not bother to stop at all this kind of... There's a McDonald's, look. We're not stopping there. We're going to just press on. It's another 3 kilometres. One? Yeah. Another 3 kilometres, and we actually walk past this lovely cafe that does breakfast and cakes and things. It's now only 9 o'clock in the morning. So we should be there at a time when we actually feel like having coffee. But we've just come across another one of these stones, but this one's actually got a disc on top. I don't know what to call it. It's a bit of a tricky one. Paul's going to read this one to you.
Okay, so the piety of every man and every woman's whispered prayer, clasped in the grain of wood and stone, and in the grace of ancient air.
So there you go, guys.
What do you think?
You can hear the swooshing of the wind turbines. See, there's 2 wind turbines in the back there. Actually, there's more than 2. There's a whole load of them. It's nice and peaceful walking through here. Here's North Pickenham. So now we're going to find this little cafe, which hopefully is at the bottom of the hill, and have a nice cup of coffee. That would go down well. So we made it to Pickenham. We're just looking for this cafe that Paul saw on Google Maps, but it's supposed to be like here. But this is the residential estate, and there doesn't look to be any kind of cafe action at all. So we might have just had a quick hiccup there, because we still didn't pick up water, and now there appears to be no cafe, and not sure what to do right now. So how good was that place? We were supposed to be looking for another cafe, but we ended up in the community building behind where I'm standing now. And they actually sort of taken over from the previous cafe, which was over the other way.
Still on Google Maps.
And it's still on Google Maps, so saying open on Sundays with a full breakfast menu and cakes and all the rest. But I mean, they've got a bit of a slightly more basic menu, I guess, but they do, we had a full breakfast each. I had a vegetarian one. It was rather nice big plate, and really friendly local people, very nice. So I can highly recommend it. We filled up our water bottles. They've got very nice toilets there as well, with like private sink in the toilet, so perfect place for washing. In case you were wondering what we were doing about that, we've just been using kind of these like wet wipes that we brought with us basically. So it was a great opportunity to freshen up with a bit of actual water and soap. So we're feeling good. Got the sun cream back on, got full bellies, and feeling kind of fresh and clean, and actually smelling quite nice again, I would say. You know, think so? Would you agree that I'm smelling nice?
Still not getting that close to each other.
Yeah. So this is Pickenham. So if you're looking for a nice spot, very peaceful village, and highly recommend it. Yeah, absolutely. It's our first kissing gate. There's not many stiles or little gates to cross over on this route. It's quite nice having a little kissing gate, isn't it?
Yeah. We won't be kissing though.
Oh, won't we? Yeah, it's nice to have a few corners. Not go completely in a straight line. I think after a couple more corners we are going in a straight line again though. It's beautiful today. I thought it was going to be more windy. It was quite windy yesterday, and the wind has got definitely a bit of cold in it. So we must have, I don't know, 10 degrees or something like that. Feels warm in the sun, but as soon as you get that wind, it really chills you down. It's lovely now though. Pretty. A little bit squelchy around here, kind of marshy. Oh, they're all coming over. Animals just love Paul. Probably think we're going to feed them or something. Are they all bullocks? I think they're all bullocks. Oh, hello. They're not sure about us, are they?
You get one brave one.
Yeah, sticking its head over, trying to nibble you. Oh, hello. How fluffy are you guys? You're so fluffy, aren't you? You're all like brand new ones. They all stick together in a little group, don't they?
They're already calves, aren't they?
Yeah, they're proper like babies.
They're really jumpy.
Yeah, they're not quite sure. We're just trying to say bye, and they all like push up to the gate there. They're so curious. I don't mind that I don't have to walk through the field of them actually though. Bye. Bye. Seem to be in the section of road walking now. A lot of road walking. Been on this this road for, I don't know, a couple of hours now, I guess, since the cows. And it looks like we've got a few more miles of road before it goes back into the sort of pathway system bit. I mean, it's not a busy road, so that's good. And it's fast walking because you've got good grip on it. We've only seen one car, so it's hardly a lot of traffic, but still, I like the footpaths, you know? I want to be back on the footpaths. It's just perfect weather for walking, isn't it? It's like awesome.
Not too hot.
Not too hot. Yeah, we got a nice bit of sun and the wind is just calm and there's a gentle breeze, just enough to kind of keep you fresh, but not too strong at all. So really enjoying the walking. We're looking out for a little spot for a break, but trouble is when you're walking on a road and it's just sort of carrying on like this for miles and miles, there's not really anywhere, like you don't want to sit on the verge at the side of the road really. It's not the same as being next to a footpath really, is it? So, oh, second car of the day. We're coming up to a little crossroads here, so perhaps on the other side we'll find a space. Otherwise it's just tramping the miles out until we get back to the footpath, I think.
Take a left, yeah.
Oh yeah. So we're in little Cressingham. It's quite a cute little place, very small. Seems to be mainly on this crossroads. Still on the road, as you can see. And we go left and we're still on the road, I think, aren't we?
Yeah, for a mile or so.
Yeah. Going towards the direction of Wharton. Don't actually go into Wharton. Yeah, Peddars Way sign, there we are. Lovely. I'm going to walk by the quite busy main road here for a bit, maybe about a mile. So we're just having a conversation about the gas. We don't have very much gas. In fact, we've got so little gas, I'm not sure if we're going to be able to cook tonight's dinner or not. So we've been sort of scoping out the area to see what the possibilities will be for, pubs or places where we can eat. We've got some dehydrated meals we can have for dinner, but we haven't really got anything to put them in if we want to cold soak them. So we may or may not be able to eat our dinner, is what I'm trying to say. So I think the plan that we've got is basically to try and make it work, and then if it doesn't, just eat all of the rest of our snacks, which will probably be all right because we've only got a few miles left to do tomorrow, and then we'll be in Thetford probably by lunchtime. So we're both sort of under the impression that it's going to be all right, and we do have extra breakfasts which we can cold soak. So I think it'll work. I think it'll be all right, but we may not be able to have hot chocolate, which is a bit of a bummer. See how it goes. Finally coming off the road section, look, there's the sign where we've got to cross. And then we're on pretty much footpaths until the end of the route. So we've completed the road section. Very, very happy about that. Happy to be walking a different direction as well because the wind, we've been walking into the wind, and the wind is quite cold now. It's making us chilly. Looks like we might get a few hedges down here, a little bit of mild protection from the wind. Already feels better. There's yet another fallen tree from, I guess, Storm Eunice again, which was a couple of weeks back. Still obviously haven't had time to clear this one, so we've got to go round. We've seen so many trees that have fallen over today. If you look through all the woodland areas, there's a lot of like snapped off branches and bits hanging around. Wow. We just came across another one of these stones. It's a horizontal one this time. All right, let's see. Surveyor Oh, surveyors have made their lines of
On
the
the
land, trapping
Albion.
in a net of roads.
A taut web.
A-taut,
A taut web.
Oh, a taut, 2 words.
A taut web on the edge of empire.
Okay. There you go. So we're going to stop right next to this stone, we've decided. We've got a new plan. The new plan is that we're going to test the stove and see if it will cook us a meal. If it does, then we're going to eat it and enjoy. And if it doesn't, then we've got a place coming up down there. It's like a little crossroad decision place where basically we can turn left, walk another kilometre and find a pub. A kilometre or 2, more likely 2. Obviously it's going to add another couple of miles there and back onto the route, I should think. So we're fairly keen to avoid that today. We feel like we just want to keep to ourselves today. But yeah, the main thing is that we get some food. Pretty hungry. It's only 4 o'clock, but I'm starving. Well, we had the last meal when we were in that cafe. That was sort of 10:30 this morning. And since then we've had a few dried fruits and nuts, but that's about it really. So yeah, fingers crossed for the meal, and if not, then we'll carry on and go to Watton. We've just entered into this area where this is all, where you see the fence behind me, it's all a military area that's been taken over. From what I can remember, they took it over, the military, in the 1940s after the Second World War, and they evicted like 1,000 people from all these different villages. There's this huge area that's basically been taken over and nobody's allowed in it. It's all surrounded by a fence, and they use it for firing practice. But it's bizarre because there are apparently little churches and houses, you know, just like the old villages, dotted around in the middle of it. So I wonder if we're going to get to see any of them as we pass by along the side, because I think we do walk like along the edge of it the whole way. So we'll find out. It seems to be doing all right at the moment. I'm wondering if it's more to do with the cold temperatures this morning, that the gas sounded like it wasn't really coming out properly. But it looks okay. I think we're going to be all right to have our dinner, no problem with it.
I'm all ready.
Paul's all organised. He's got his stuff back in his bag. We're doing pretty well. This is such a peaceful spot we've got here. We've had our meal. We managed to get enough hot water for that. And now we're going for the hot chocolate with a bit of green and blacks. Love that. So that's like dessert. And I think we've timed it beautifully because it's now about 5-ish. By the time we've finished up here, had our hot chocolate, dessert, you know, we'll wander down the track a bit more and then just look for a spot for tonight and hopefully find ourselves a nice little place. We don't have to veer off the track for water anymore, or for gas or a meal or anything like that. So in the morning, I'm thinking there's enough gas in here to probably get a cup of tea out of, or coffee in the morning. It does sound a little bit like up and down. I don't know, I can't really tell, to be honest, but it's a tiny canister. It was full and I just automatically thought, yeah, that'll be enough for like 4 days or 3 days for us. But maybe it was just a bit on the small side and we've used it all up. I don't know. We'll see. It's all good. So hopefully I'll be able to give you a bit of footage of when we find ourselves a nice place later on. But for the minute, I'm just going to listen to the birds and sit here peacefully. We heard a woodpecker, all sorts of interesting other birds. It's lovely sitting here. Got this lovely sunset now. We've just been following these little dogs. They're so funny, quite cute. The nice relaxed owner. 3 little dogs. Rescue dogs from Cyprus, apparently. Just loving the sunset tonight. The sun looks bright orange, which I can't really capture with the camera that I've got. We've got 1 kilometre to go to Thompson Water, which I'm really excited about seeing, because to be honest, I watched somebody else's YouTube video and saw them camp there, and it looked like an idyllic spot, nice and flat and out of the way of farmers. We could do with that tomorrow morning, although to be honest we'll probably be up a bit earlier tomorrow morning. Get up earlier every day, wake up with the birds, you know. This is just beautiful walking. Hardly any people around, just listen to the trees and the birds. Peaceful walking. So we've just reached Thompson Water. We've been going through this forest that we think is called Brackland Wood, well, wood or forest, and this is the place that we were thinking we were going to stay tonight. It's a bit muddy, but let's have a look. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Pretty. Look at that. So how about this for a camp spot? It's beautiful. We've got the place to ourselves. We're going to overlook the lake, so in the morning we can just peep out and look over the lake. It's gorgeous. You can see a lot of other people have been camping here. There's a bit of ash on the floor. We've just got the woods in the background. There's no tractor's going to come and wake us up tomorrow morning and start staring at us and stressing us out like for the last couple of mornings. Ah, what an idyllic camp spot, hey sweetie?
Beautiful.
It's just beautiful.
Yeah, it's really nice.
And we've got a nice flat surface. The only thing we don't have is a picnic table, actually. But hey, beggars can't be choosers. Look at this, we've got the swans, coots. It's peaceful. I think we're going to sleep very well here. Right, I better help Paul start putting some pegs in, I think.